Hi, my name is Catherine Morris. I am a ninth grade mathematics teacher. I have been teaching coordinate algebra over the last 14 years. I am going to present to you some data for over the course of the last 3 test administrations of coordinate algebra. We are missing the year 2020 for our data because of COVID, but I will be focusing on school year 2018-2019, school year 2020-2021, and school year 2021-2022, and we'll look at socioeconomic and academic achievement trends in coordinate algebra and try to find some solutions to help improve our coordinate algebra scores based on our school improvement plan. All the data that you are going to see has been collected from the Governor's Office of Student Achievement. We are going to dig into students with disabilities specifically, but also students who are male, because those would be our 2 focus areas. Also, it's important to know that we don't have district data because Camden County High School is obviously the only high school in the county. So we are comparing state and school, not also district, because there is no district data available that is different than the high school. Let's take a look at what our student and teacher demographic trends have been over the past 3 years. Look at our student ethnicity breakdown here, majority of our students being white, Black, Hispanic, multiracial, and Asian Pacific Islander are the other ethnicities present. We have 2,578 students currently enrolled. There are 167 teachers in the building. Our current mobility rate is 12.2%. Important things to look at is that we have 18% of our students who are economically disadvantaged. We have 11% of our current student population having individualized education plans, and 40.1% of our students qualify for free or reduced lunch. Student enrollment trends have continued to go up. Our economically disadvantaged is the only area in which we are going down. So female students, male students increasing the same rate as our total students, and our students with disabilities are increasing at the same rate as our total students also, but our economically disadvantaged students are dropping off as we go on. You'll notice also I've used here the same years that we are going to look at our testing data. So while we do have data for student enrollment for the year 2019-2020, I used the same years to be consistent. Teacher demographic trends, we have mostly white teachers. We have a significant number of more female teachers than male teachers. And those trends are all continuing in the same method, pretty steady across the board over the last 3 years. Teaching experience trends, we are seeing fewer and fewer teachers with less than 1 year experience. We are seeing the most amount of teachers changing between 11 to 20 and 21 to 30 years. So we have mostly experienced teachers in the building, which is something to take note of. Now we're going to focus on what is going on specifically in coordinate algebra. So let's look at just the straight up pass rates of the coordinate algebra EOC over the state being the blue bars in each of those and Camden County being that green bar. And you can see our total population of people in the state that have taken the tests each year underneath. And you can see that our pass rates, so scoring a 2 or higher on the coordinate algebra milestone test, are significantly higher than the state, but there is definite room for improvement. We are hovering right around that 85 to 90%, so we're still losing 10% of our students are not passing this test overall. We're going to look at our overall male student performance. So here you'll see that dark blue bar is your state overall score, same as on the last slide. That will be consistent. Then we have all of the males in the state, and then we have males in Camden County. So Again, we are overperforming state overall and the males in the state, but we are performing in the 80 to 85 range with our male students. Take a look at what our female students are performing, and again, you can see that we're significantly higher than the state. Same color coding here. Dark blue would be our overall state. That light blue is all the females in the state who took the test each of those years, and the green is our females in Camden County. Now our females are performing between 86 and 93%, so they're definitely doing better than their counterpart male students. Now we're going to look at our students with disabilities. Now, this is where we have the considerably most room for improvement. We are far above the state students with disabilities. As you can see here, we've got blue is the state overall pass rate. That light blue is the students with disability across the state, and the green is our students with disability in Camden County. So we are sitting between 63 and 72% pass rate in these 3 years, and we have gone up increasingly, but we do need to improve those scores and help meet the needs of our students with disabilities. So what are we going to do now? How can we help our students at Camden County High School grow? We are going to take a look at some of the things that are possible within the constraints of our current situation without having to change a whole lot. What can we look at? What can we do? So, me looking at this data, I'm going to identify areas for growth. We're going to overperform the state on all of our subgroups. However, that doesn't mean we can't improve. The suggestions I have for focused areas of improvement are male students and students with disabilities specifically, so that we can figure out how to meet those needs and help those students be successful. So our next steps, making a plan to tackle this data and come up with an improvement plan, is going to be sharing with the math team. Okay, we're going to disseminate this data to the math team, talk about what I'm talking about with you, and figure out what ideas they have. What can we do inside their classrooms? What things are they doing that are working better in some classrooms than other classrooms? The other thing that we're going to talk about here is that we saw that we have mostly experienced teachers, and when we have mostly experienced teachers, people are kind of set in their ways often. So if we offer teacher training to special education teachers who are teamed in mathematics and general education teachers who teach coordinate algebra to focus on best practices in the classroom, because sometimes what is a best practice now wasn't a best practice 15, 20 years ago when our current teachers were last in school. Second thing we should do is talk to the special ed teams and audit students' IEPs to determine if they have appropriate accommodations to help them be successful in coordinate algebra. What can we do to adjust these goals? Are we meeting their goals? Are the goals appropriate for grade level? Next thing we need to do is determine a process for identifying our at-risk students. So how are we going to tag those students as at risk? Which special ed students, which male students, which students in general are at risk of not passing this test, and utilize our math tutor. We have our contract tutor here, pulling them from elective classes, offering after-school tutoring, Saturday school tutoring could be beneficial for those students once they are identified. Also, developing incentive programs for students who are showing growth across coordinate algebra. Before we meet next time, we're going to follow up in October, and we are going to have a list of our at-risk students. So we're going to decide as a math team how to identify the at-risk students. We're going to have a list of them, and we're going to be analyzing their benchmark data and tracking the progress of those at-risk students. So we should be able to track and identify the standards that they are missing to be able to reteach and remediate with the tutor. And we are going to be able to track if those students are participating in after-school tutoring and Saturday school tutoring. So as far as an admin team, we need your support in helping create these lists and make sure that we're tracking our tutoring. And we will talk about our progress in our next meeting on October 1st.